Nailed it.
Hey, the curse of the nice guy.
Welcome to the battlefield, to the boardroom. You are here with Philip Folsom and the Wolf Tribe and myself, Colonel Garth Massey. We are once again talking to you with 2 tactical tips from real world, real examples, real stuff that you can take out and apply today. And today we are talking about the danger of being nice, because we all want to be good people and we want to be nice people. Philip, this is so your wheelhouse. Anyone out there talking about culture, trust, building teams, I mean, this is where you live and breathe. What do you got?
Yeah. Hey, nice is like domestic. You've been domesticated, right? And I'm going to, first of all, set the stage, or to use your language, shape the environment. Set some parameters, rules of engagement, if you will, about our language. And so I believe that people oftentimes misuse the word nice when really what they want to say is kind, right? And so kind contains the root of the word kin, like kinship. And the way we treat our kin, like the people who are in our tribe, is very different than we treat the people outside of our tribe. So really, kindness is really what we want to have, because it's reciprocal, it's collaborative, it's all these great, powerful things that humans are at our best. Now, nice is a sense of desperate pleasing to other people. So I want to make that distinction there, because of course we want to be kind to the world. But when we slip into that squishy niceness, as I'm defining it, what happens is we start going out of our way to please people. We compromise our mission. We compromise our values. We compromise our core belief system, and we start pleasing. And then what we eventually start doing is realizing that people don't trust us. Oh, this is my number one. Be very careful about constantly pleasing other people with your niceness, because it's working against you, because eventually they see through that and they don't trust you. And the scarier part about it is even you don't trust you eventually. Dun, dun, dun. So that's my number one. Number one risk of being nice is people don't trust you, and eventually you don't trust you.
That is a solid and dangerous number one. And I will take your definitions. I think that is great. I think kindness is a much better place to go. One of the things we do in the leadership world, we talk about traits and character, and more importantly, values. And that is my number one, that you need to be value driven. And in the case of nice, not anxiety driven. So a value-based person understands who they are or what they want to be. So I am on time. I am good at, giving out directions or communicating. It's a statement about what you think is important and how you live. Being nice is a facade. And so it creates the anxiety, which probably has a ton to do with the trust you're talking about, where if I am in an anxiety-driven life, it's, am I doing this enough, or am I doing this right, or did I get it to match right? So instead of being true to me and living my values, I am living what I think everybody else wants. And if you do that, if you live in that facade, then you have nothing left but anxiety at the end. So in addition to not trusting yourself, like your number one, you're just going to be anxious, and you're going to be worried, and you're going to have to kibitz about everything else everyone everywhere is thinking, because you're trying to figure out what they want so that you can match your life to what they want instead of living your values. So that's my number one, is live the value-based life.
I had a cool number two planned, but yours was so good, I'm going to kind of like steal some of yours and go off that one. Oftentimes, there's a desperate need in our culture for external validation. And this is the primary currency of our culture at this point. And it's very dysfunctional and ultimately sick and toxic, because we're constantly chasing this external validation to show that we're enough. And we see that on social media. We see that in all the different aspects of our society. And so what happens when we're trying to get external validation as our primary currency, we don't have the currency of the kingdom or our values, which you shared, or our mission. This is the bigger thing that really should be the intrinsic motivation instead of the extrinsic motivation. So one of the risks of being nice is that we end up sacrificing, and that's the big word, sacrifice, for the sacred of our kingdoms in order to please other people's kingdoms. And we're just constantly putting out fires and reacting to the external world, waking up, checking our emails desperately. Like, don't check your emails. Don't check your social media. Build your kingdom first, and don't worry about the niceness of all those other things, the niceties of all those other things. That's my number 2.
I like it, which takes me to my number 2, which is stop being honest. So if you are spending your time trying to be nice all the time, right? So you are allowing little things, that upset you or that got in your way, say in a relationship or in a business deal, where little slights, but you don't bring it up because you want to be nice and you don't want to mention it to anybody. And what happens is you very quickly start building up all this resentment in the background, and you start having to almost lie in order to not express where you're really feeling or where you're really at or where the deal really is or where the relationship is at. And so what I would suggest instead is you got to fight the battles. And yes, some things are trivial, the clicking noise that your partner is making with a pen while you sit trying to read a book. It's a tiny little thing, but it's okay to say, stop that, please. And you can be kind in the way you say it, but you don't have to be nice and just let them continue to annoy you, and you tamp it all down so you stop being honest about how you really feel, what's really important. Because the longer you go and the more you build that stuff up where you're afraid to fight the little battles, the more you put yourself in a position where one day there just isn't anything worth fighting for and you have nothing around you anymore. So that's my number 2. Fight the little ones.
And hey, just a little add to that. It's better to be respected than liked. That goes to what you're saying is when we constantly let these little incursions erode our healthy boundaries, the little clicking of the pen, well, eventually people don't respect us anymore. And so a little bit of pushback, like you're saying, it will create a short-term conflict, but long-term healthy boundaries and new norms. It's beautiful.
Right. And pay the price. You and I disagree on stuff all the time. We just don't record that part, But by doing that, we can record all the rest and make, what are we on, 35 of these? Like, this is fantastic. That's it. That is your battlefield to the boardroom today. We are talking about the dangers of being nice. So you got to get out there. You got to lead your organizations. You got to lead your families. You have to step up with your values, your character. All of that stuff matters. So thank you for joining us this morning, Philip. Great to see you as always. And if you have not checked out Philip's Wolf Tribe or K4 program, or you're not ready for the big challenge of Forged, you're missing out. Get at it. See you, brother.
Amen. It's a great topic. We could spend multiple weeks on this one.